Hey, what's going on, guys? Back here with another video. And in today's video, I'm just going with the flow right now. Just gonna talk about whatever comes off my chest, comes out my chest. Whatever I got on my mind, I'm just doing a freestyle video. But like I said in my last video, um, that I was just trying to explain how to draw Yahweh and Son Yeshua's presence more, and just don't forget that He's near. And my other situation too that I was about to explain is that so that night I made that video. Like I said, I was having a very lustful temptation, and I'm not perfect. I ended up slipping up. I ended up relapsing, but it is what it is. Like I said, I felt disappointed, man, because I plan on just waiting until me and my wife, and like I said, I was thinking like that's gonna be my son. That's my son or daughter. I wanted to have my kid, but it is what it is. I'm just saying the thing I did the thing I did learn about this slip up is that I can't do things on my own strength, and I can only do this journey with Yahweh. Can't do it without Him. And I also learned that you just gotta be, what's the word, more accountable, but meaning like, you gotta just accept certain things. Like basically, like I said, you can't do it in your own strength, and especially right before bed, you gotta pray. You gotta, like I said, you gotta have a different type of discipline where you just give up. I mean, you don't give up. You get up, and you do something that you should have you do. Excuse me. You do something else that you should have done. Like should have prayed. You should have you know read scripture. You should have gone for a walk. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that you gotta just fight that temptation. Like I said, your flesh plays tricks on you, and you know what to do already, but you just, like I said, when you're not thinking straight, bro, because that temptation is so strong, it overwhelms your mind, that you just end up, messing up. And what I'm trying to say is that, like I'm not gonna let that define me, even though I've messed up many times in the past with a lot of things in my life, like I said. But all I'm saying is it's a little setback. But like I said, I learned that this time, man, is that, can't do things on your own strength. And, you gotta continue to trust in Yahweh, keep praying. And like I said, you just gotta do a little bit more. Sometimes you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You don't want to live a lie. And, you just you gotta sometimes think twice before you do everything. You don't just jump into something. And yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about that. Like when it comes to that situation. But yeah, like how I was saying though, in my video, that you want to learn to build that stronger connection with Yahweh. And then now, I had a job interview today, and it's kind of sorry. Like I said, now, even though things don't always go our way, but we gotta learn to keep our trust in Him, and whatever happens, like I said, I trust Him. It's just I came to that realization today too, that like no matter what happens, like I said, you're not giving up, you're not doubting yourself. It's just no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try to do something and try to control something, you some things you just gotta let happen. Some things you just have no control over, And yeah, no, like I said, it's just that's just life. Sometimes, like it is what it is. I can't control how everybody feels about me. I can't control what happens tomorrow. It is what it is. But like I said, I think about that scripture now. Like, see, came to my slip up. Like, don't lean on your own understanding. When you lean onto Yahweh's and trust Him with your trust Him with your heart. And I can't give up. And I just feel like wiser now, like meaning that I know half the time a lot of these mistakes I made, like I let my guard down, I got a little bit too comfortable. Like I said, that's what happens that happens with a lot of people, that they be having a bad day and they're not thinking straight, or something happens to them, like to where like mentally now they're all upset about something, they're overwhelmed, and then you end up slipping up, you end up doing something you're not supposed to be doing. Like I said, you go to the bottle to buy you go to the store to buy a bottle. Damn, I cannot talk right now. Get some water in me. Go to the store to buy a bottle. Excuse me. You start drinking, and when you know you shouldn't have been drinking, or you had just stopped drinking, or like I said, you go smoke or you do something else. And if you were just thinking straight, and if you were thinking rationally, like, why am I overcomplicating this situation? Why am I thinking like this? You know where this leads. You know where this goes, like I said. But it's like all that goes out the window because you broke your discipline. Like, you have discipline. Think about it. You spend every day training for something. You have discipline. From doing something every single day that you've been practicing, you've been getting prepared for. But as soon as a very strong temptation comes, like life hits the fan, all of a sudden, it's just like all that discipline it goes right out the window. So it's like as soon as things hit the fan, like, you got to think twice, like, where will I be next year if I do this? Where will I be if I go through with this? Like, you don't want to experience that guilt. And all I'm saying is that now I'm just learning to just accept things all over again. Like I said, certain things I can't control. I gotta accept that. And like I said, I'm just trying to get in better shape now. Trying to just switch up my routine. Like I said, just certain things that I had to learn the hard way again. And it's like, it just disappoints you when you learn the same lesson over and over again. Like, better, but you decide to go through or make a decision about something is already bad, man. It's like, you will go on like that for years and years and years if you do not hold yourself accountable for it now. Because, like, what is the point, doing something that is already gonna lead you in a repeating cycle of doing it for 10 years, 20 years, and then before you know it, you're an old man with gray hair already, and now you're still dealing with that problem, bro. It's like, what's the point? I feel like people think that. Excuse me, I know I got an ad on my laptop. People think that they got all the time in the world, and I'll tell you, you don't. Because I thought that for so long, And Yahweh was trying to tell me, like, like He could take me out right now. He can take me out tomorrow. Like, if I try to push it, like it's like I said, you can't let it get there. You know, you just gotta remind yourself what can happen. Because they said you gotta be grateful every day for what you have, and not seek the pleasures, the worldly pleasures that your flesh secretly craves. But like I said, and you're not thinking rationally, you're not thinking twice about what could happen. Anyways, I'm sorry to repeat myself. I'm just trying to be as clear as I can about this. And I know I said so many times, I'll never do this again. I'll never do this again. And I'm serious. This time, can't let that happen again. I know better. And that's what I'm saying. That hurts when you know better, but you wonder why. Why can't I do better? I have a little cereal bowl right now. So forgive me. Post workout. But like I said, I was gonna say something specific earlier, but really that's all I'm saying. I feel like I just gotta gain that wisdom from Yahweh once again, to recognize, to really look at what I'm doing. Meaning, like, how we live lies in the world thinking this is normal, this is okay, this is okay, this is okay. But you don't really look at it for what it really is. If you start looking at things from a different perspective, you start looking at it for what it really is, you won't be thinking twice about it anymore. Right there and there, right now, you'll be thinking right then and there, now, and excuse me, I can't talk today. You'll be thinking like, yeah, now, I'm not doing that again. I know for sure. After finding out this, so it's all about how you look at it, Because people, like, you see celebrities, they may know some truth, but they look at things from a worldly perspective. They don't look at things from outside perspective, They don't want to accept that, Or we all got problems. They don't want to accept that things are really messed up out here, but they don't want to admit it. They know it's messed up, but like I said, at the end of the day, even celebrities are still caught up in that lie, that illusion. I'm thinking, some of these things are okay. I can't speak on, excuse me, I can't speak on too much, but it's like you're living that illusion still as imagine a celebrity, thinking all these people you're around, they're your friends, everything's all good, like that's your life. But if you really to look at things for what they are, like some celebrities, they may speak truth, but they're still living a lie. That's my point. Doesn't matter what you say when it comes to certain things, because if your whole character's off, your whole persona is not real, then it's like no one's gonna take you serious. I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I'm still learning, but at least I could be honest about the things in my life that I may have messed up on or may have still thought bad about, certain things I know I need to do, that at least, I can be honest about it on here. I don't come on the camera living a lie saying that, oh, my life is perfect. My life's not. So at least I'm honest about my situation, Like I said, I'm still trying to get my phone fixed. And all these other things like this, like my little setback, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to block any blessings, so that's why I was disappointed. Because I don't want to get through, I don't want to go through punishment all over again, And I know better. Like I said, I'm growing up now. I made these mistakes already when I was young. So I know I cannot do this again. But yet, my body betrays me, Your mind may not betray you, but your body may betray you, but your mind can't. Your mind knows not to go drink, not to go eat something, but yet your body does it. Our spirit's sensitive, But when you don't have self-control, you don't have the Holy Spirit on you, you're cooked. Let's just be honest. That's so many people are so demon-possessed. They don't even realize it. Because their whole lifestyle is wicked to where they don't even like it. And they know that they don't like their life. But they're going to drink all day. They're going to do all these things to try to escape that feeling, that guiltiness. Because they don't want to accept the truth. That's what I'm trying to say. I got no wisdom. This is messed up, man. Because it's like, see, even me trying to believe that in my life, like, I try to look at the good in everyone. I try to think, I look inside someone's eye, I look at them like, I see a good person inside. That's what I think. But now I realize, no, they're not a good person. They're not, like I said. You don't know their heart. They chose to live that way. They don't really have love in their hearts. It's messed up out here. And it's sad. You see people want to be saved. You see they need help. They want someone to save them. But they don't want God to save them. Who do you think is going to save you? Superman? People want to get saved by idols? Nah. We don't do that over here. I was a Catholic for 10 years. I was Catholic until I was 10 years old. Like I said, I did not see me unknowingly being in idolatry as a young kid. So, nah, man, we're not doing that no more, man. Like I said, you got to be careful with that. Other people be in idolatry without even truly realizing it. You put celebrities first. People got these posters of Kanye on their wall and all this dumb stuff. Like, come on, bro. You should know better, man. That's up to you, though, bro. You want to live a lie? That's something I can't control, Only he's in control of certain things, but it's like, you can't, you can't control what certain people feel, what certain people do, but it's like, you gotta be ready for any possible outcome. But it's like some people, they truly they're just hard to deal with, to talk to. It's like, You know, I see like in my head, I could change this person. I could do this. But in these last days, it's like, so it's like every man for themselves, you know? Every man for himself. It's like free for all out here. Now you don't know who to trust anymore. Only for my real brothers on here that actually watch me, that actually keep up with me, and actually show me love. I appreciate you guys. But I mean, all the clowns, all the liars, the demons that were stalking my channel last time, like my old channel, and all these other trolls that they like to hide. Like I said, you know, I'm not dealing with that, man. You guys seen some of my other videos? Why do I have 18 views but 2 likes, 3 likes? See? You're gonna hide behind the camera. You're not gonna leave a comment. Like I said, I don't know who else is watching my video. This is what I'm trying to say. I can't control that, but that's what I'm saying. That's why my stress levels go up sometimes. Because Satan is just pissing me off daily. Like I said, you know, I'm tired. I'm fed up with all this fakeness, all this, you know, this all the worldly stuff. Too much to talk about, you know. And like I said, when I just think about it, like clearly, man, like why would you listen to someone who is government led or someone that's believing everything they look up on Google? Like, come on, bro. Well, who works for Google? Who puts the answers on there? Non-believers. So obviously they're gonna, like, yeah, they may put some truth, but they're gonna put some lies at the end. Like every time, man. I'm telling you, it's just like, what next? Anyways, I'm not trying to get worked up here, but I just gotta say though, like, you know, I speak on this about my situation, and that I'm better, you know, better come back stronger now. And like I said, all I can say is, you know, I'll get wiser from this. I learned my lesson once again, you know. You know, you can only overcome addiction with Yahweh. You can't do it by yourself. I had to personally learn that the hard way. Again, you know. And you know how they say, like, you fall, you get back up way stronger, you know. Gotta rise up again. Learn from my mistakes. You know, we learn from all of our mistakes. You know, the past does not define us. Even though the past does try to leave scars, you know. The past leaves scars, but they are not gonna determine what we can and can't do. They're just there as a reminder that we went through this before. We went through this situation. We went through this. We had a situation where we were young, and now we got this scar. But now we know that it leads to this. You know, if we were to go through with that, if we were gonna do this, we were gonna make this same mistake again. It leads to this. It led to me getting the scar that already should be a reminder, a permanent reminder. But people think that, you know, they'll never get out of something. That's a lie. But you will never get out of something if you choose to do it in your own strength. You choose to do it on your own. You know, Yahweh will pull you out of certain situations and you don't even thank Him. You don't even realize it. Sometimes, man, like I said, He saved me from death. He saved me from jail. He saved me from many crazy situations where, like I said, I could not be here talking to you right now. But thankfully, he still has me here, so I can still be talking to you guys about some of the things I've learned over the years, or some things that I try to tell you guys, even though kind of misunderstood. But it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm still learning, but getting better at talking on this camera here. Just I need to be more consistent once I get my phone fixed. I just go with the flow. Like right now, it's late at night right now. I just want to put this video out because I had the opportunity to do it, and I don't want to forget. I don't want to be like, yeah, it's all good. I don't want to have a video idea, or I get downloads and I just decide to just waste that opportunity. Anyways, I don't want to rant. Made this video long enough already. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And yeah, I'm gonna just be coming back with just more ideas. I'm trying to switch up the content. I may be trying to do like workout videos. I don't know, I may try to do something more, unique this month going forward. But like I said, I you know, just gotta switch it up now. Gotta get prepared for whatever happens. And Yahweh's molding me, and I gotta remind myself, this won't last forever. Even though sometimes I feel like I'm stuck. So it is what it is, but it's never too late. So okay, like, comment, subscribe, and whatever happens, I hope you guys learn something from this message. And if you are going through a storm right now in your life, just realize it's temporary, and that what you are thinking right now is not what you'll be thinking after. Like I said, so the enemy wants to stress you out so much to where you can't even think straight, and then you won't even realize that the storm is over, but like that already left a kind of a scar there. So you don't even really realize it's over until Yahweh confirms. So you just gotta relax, guys. Relax. And I still deal with this too. Like I said, I'm not perfect, but that's why we gotta stay in unity, and we gotta unite, and we gotta stay, you know, excuse me, we gotta, stay in fellowship, just help each other out, work as a team, because we're stronger that way. We can learn from each other. Anyways, I just want to say that. And yeah, I'll be back here with another video, and keep moving forward, stay positive, and it's my new beginning. Let's go. Amen.